Are we live, Cody?
Right. Yes, we are live.
Okay, thank you, Cody. We're now resuming our open session meeting based on a motion and vote to reconvene and close the closed session. And
And to report out on our, we
Yeah.
can take a vote in closed
Yeah.
session, to, accept, to review. Yes, we should read the motion.
Okay, so we returned to open session. Following action was taken during the closed session. Approval of a motion to award the maximum annual performance incentive pay for the year 2024 to the library director and CEO as described within the executive employee agreement.
Thank you.
second. Next on the agenda are the announcements.
Before we go into that, I wanted, the public is not aware of what those goals were, attainment nor 2020.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like me to read the goals in their entirety? Or,
I summarize.
Yeah.
all right, well, for those who are listening or maybe listening to the recording, remember that we proposed 5 goals in 2024, beginning of 2024. The first of which was to launch an exploratory phase of transforming our libraries, these creative centers of cultural connection. And we also sought to explore and implement digital solutions that promote creative storytelling, community-driven initiatives, and meaningful engagement. And to that end, we built on the successes of 3 areas that were pre-existing. The Nice to Meet You series continued on and added 4 additional community profiles to our catalog of community stories. The Tell Me a Story pod expanded, so no longer did it sit at a fixed location. It was added to additional branches of Blue Springs, Withers, Green Hills, and Grand Valley. There was a strong community response from that. We also talked about the work of the Memory Lab and how that relates to this next thing that I'll mention. But the Memory Lab digitized 22,000 items over the past year and served a total of 255 people. And why are we talking about that? Because it works neatly with this proposal that we have to build a digitization hub at the Midwest Genealogy Center. And the idea behind this hub is to digitize collections that we own, but also build collections that we don't currently have. And the reason for doing that is to be forward-looking and to engage new users in the resources that Midwest Genealogy Center has to offer. So we engage History and Associates with an agreement that expires in May of this year. The final deliverable of History and Associates will be a funding proposal for the digitization hub, and that'll be delivered to the library in early March. Is that right? Yeah, March. Yep. The second goal was a comprehensive evaluation of library contracts. What I shared with the trustees is that our legal services director reviewed 124 agreements to date. It's a mixture of partnership agreements and financial agreements, but of the financial agreements, 13 of which exceeded $100,000 and totaled roughly 6.3 million in expenditures. So we also talked about internal controls and contract authority. We've proposed revisions to Section 500, the ad hoc bylaw committee. And as Jeremy talked about in open session, we also engaged BS&A to work on our accounting system internally. The third goal was the feasibility study for renovating and rebuilding our headquarters. As you all are aware, we presented the feasibility study to the board on December 19th, and we've established an ad hoc committee that begins their work on January 22nd. We talked about an investment strategy for library services in under-resourced communities. And what I shared with the trustees is this work has begun and we have a good idea of the direction that we're going. However, making a recommendation to the board in terms of investment is premature without knowing where we're going with our headquarters project. I also shared the work that Jim and Cody have done on kind of crowdsourcing this ideation phase when it comes to under-resourced communities, and we're happy with the progress of that project as well. And then lastly, we talked about how the library has worked to strengthen relationships with our stakeholders throughout the region. We talked about the work that Susan did on auditing or, documenting the number of partnership agreements and professional relationships we have throughout the system. And we also talked about our engagement with legislators, newly elected legislators. That's where I landed. And just to summarize the audit we did of partnerships, we have roughly 130 or 140 active partnerships. And we talked about how this is not only a role of the library director, but also a role of managers throughout our system. So many of these relationships are strongest at the local level. But it's good to have a resource that we can consult. We need to make contact with people in our communities. And that concludes the summary of the work we did on our 5 goals. Do you want me to talk about the 2025 goals?
Do you want to take the time to do that tonight, or do you just want to put it on the agenda once everybody's had a chance to look at it?
Well, we can do that. Yeah, we could do that next time. Sure, no one will hate me for shortening the meeting, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Yummy. Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Yeah, I was thinking for the 2025 goals, what may be helpful, like in education, we want to write goals in terms of the learner, in terms of who the goal's affecting, not say Aaron is going to do so and so, but the patrons will experience, or that may be helpful, sort of like what Ron was saying, that sometimes we just get too much into um, some process and we're just not really doing what we want to do. So that's just a recommendation. If we can, maybe Aaron can write the goals a little differently in terms of who is benefiting from that. And so that may be helpful in evaluating, and I'm hoping it'll be more helpful for Aaron.
Thank you, Yami.
Any other questions, comments? So now to trustees' comments.
I have something.
Oh, yeah.
This is sharing time. My wife was cleaning out a drawer of mine today in one of our rooms, and she found this bookmark, Mid-Continent Public Library, Dr. Victor Gregg Library Champion Award, July 2017. And I'm the recipient here. Does anyone remember 2017?
I do. I did.
Yeah.
Good. I didn't know I had this. So that's all. Just sharing time.
Any other?
Anything serious?
You want me to do the announcements?
Sure.
Before you is a list of notable dates in the coming months. February 4th is an important one for us. It's where we all travel down to or across to Jefferson City for Library Advocacy Day. As always, there's an open invitation to anyone on the board who wants to join us. We'd be happy to bring you along. And then on the 17th is President's Day, and all of our library locations will be closed. The rest of the dates are regularly occurring board meetings. So that includes the announcements.
Okay, trustees' comments.
Do you have one
Slide.
slide, please? So I had the opportunity to meet Catherine. And I was at the Liberty Uppercut meat butchery, and they were having a grand opening. And when I went into the there, they had different bakers from around the area. And I introduced myself and they were passing out samples. And I was like, oh, this is so nice to meet you. And I asked her where she was located. And she told me that she works out of the Green Hills branch, and she works out of one of our kitchens, and that's where she staffs does her baking. And so I just wanted to tell you that it was really cool. And I was like, yeah, I work on the library, and I'm like, can I take some pictures of you and talk about what a success it was to have somebody who's out in the community and who started their business using one of our library facilities.
Just wanted to add to that, the lunches from today are also from one of our users at the Culinary Center, and she is gourmetish, Casey. So that's where those lunches. Today's lunches are from.
Were those treats? The treats were from her, right? The treats that are over there are from Catherine?
No, sorry. No.
Sorry?
No.
They're more from Gourmet. Okay, sorry. I was misunderstood.
But we will get treats from Catherine.
You will get some.
We'll have treats from Catherine.
Right.
And for those of you who may missed it, Catherine and Xander were featured on Fox 4 this morning.
This morning, yeah, very exciting. Or today or this afternoon.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a little more context in board docs, but she's been, I think, involved with the library since 2022. And Catherine, and is it roughly 13 or so other business? How many businesses work? Well, right. 12 businesses work out of our incubator kitchen. So we're very happy. Service that they're providing.
I was able to attend the reopening of the Culinary Center, very well attended. Lots of energy from the community about having it back open, and just a lot of interest in the programming.
Yep, and if you haven't seen the improvements we made to the kitchen, by all means, stop by. So
Yeah, it's
really good.
I haven't toured it for a long time. I should do that.
It's really amazing.
Can I go to the next comment that I would just like to make? I had the opportunity to attend the MCC scholarship luncheon on Friday at Union Station, representing the library. Several of us got to go. And it was such a unique thing. I was so proud of our library to be part of that, and just wanted to say how much I appreciated being able to go. I know, Marcy, you may have some other comments that you wanted to say about it.
Yeah, I think it was a perfect event for us to attend and be supportive of, because we're dovetailing in with education, and we can get to see the results of where these students get to go, and they benefit from these scholarships that take them to new heights and open doors for them. So it's wonderful to be a part of that.
And somebody got us the coveted pole position. We were like we had front row seats. It was was that you, Teresa?
No.
Oh.
the food was delicious too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very neat event, and I just was very proud of our library for being a part of that. So thank you for including us. I think we had several tables, and I know scholarships are such a big part of people's opportunity to go to school, and it just was very, very cool. Maple Woods is very special to me because I went on a board of trustees scholarship. That's how this person in my school that got to go to college, and so it was heartwarming to be there.
Other comments? I'd just like to pick up what Aaron had mentioned before. And I think we should recognize the efforts that she and Diana did to have the Facing the Future program is absolutely just national in scope. It was absolutely excellent and looking forward to what can be coming up this year. And also whenever it comes, Channel 41, I believe, is going to have something, didn't we just mention on,
You remember?
Yeah, related to Aaron's program.
yeah,
Yeah, they are, I don't think it's next. You know what it is, Brian? It's next Tuesday on the 28th.
I think if we could get a heads up on, to make sure we can Chris will remember that and watch it. And another event which happened during the Christmas holidays was at the Antioch branch. An absolutely amazing program that, again, Diana's, she and her posse put together. And that was the development of art and works of art done by people who were in, aged people who were in positions where they would probably not have that type of interaction and stimulus to delve into these areas. And that was absolutely just a fantastic program. And I think also we're talking about different very noteworthy events like this. I think at the bottom it is still the fact that what Jim mentioned, 10 million items were checked out last year. And that just, I think, just reinforces the foundation of the incredible services that our employees at the library system provide. Any other comments? So I move that we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
It's unanimous.
You know,